Hey folks, well here we are at the London Fire Brigade. Big shout out to whichever watch it is that's working here today, but a big shout out obviously to a good friend of ours, John. So we are on 09 left, default arrivals. We're a little bit higher. The reason for the delay is I've had to obviously increase the height of the platform on the van in order that we can get the best part of touchdowns. Yeah, the traffic's been pretty bad as well. American. I'm not sure what the absolute gridlock here, folks. Look up there. You never see that, Heathrow. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. And that's all going into terminals 2 and 3 because of the tunnel. Wow, it's just insane, mate. Never seen anything like it in my life. Kind of not sure what that building is utilised for. Whether it's a payment, I don't think it is. Is it a payment thing? No, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like a pointless place, doesn't it? I bet it's closed. And you know, you could fit another 20 cars in there if you knock it down. If you need a help knocking it down, give us a shout. Just give me a large sledgehammer, a Kango, and a reason to get angry. Right, here we go. Ooh, nice breeze like that. So yeah, we have the London Fire Brigade, as well as obviously London Heathrow, Heathrow Airport Limited, and everyone else who's involved in it to say thank you to for our very we're very honoured and very humbled and very fortunate to be where we are, and lucky. It doesn't come without a lot of hard work and determination and friends making. Made a lot of friends on our journey of getting all these clearances for these particular locations, and we only have really got we have a number of departments to thank at London Heathrow for that, but also mainly I have to say for this particular location it's our good friend John. If you're listening, mate, I know he does listen, he does watch in, so thanks, mate, hope you're well, and if you're out there off duty, hope you're enjoying your wow, this guy's very nothing to do with the M25, mate. Nothing to do with the M25. Even if the M25 was shut, mate, we had nothing to do with it. It's miles away. Yeah. It's terrible. Honestly, I've never seen it. Oh, blimey. Something big going on down there. Flipping heck. Okay, live chat. Oh, I've got to close that, haven't I? We got Jake is a brand new member. Is he a brand new member? I'm not showing it. Oh no, he's a returning member. Welcome back, Jake. Tad Hunter. Good day to you, Jake. Welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well. Okay, let me close that. Baggy Boo. Thank you, Baggy Boo. Still got his reversers. Only just now closing the reverse. Now you see that is an example potentially of a pilot who maybe, or pilots who maybe are a little bit unfamiliar with the Heathrow Airport layout. Sorry, missed this one. Okay, I need to keep an eye on what's coming in, GP. Yes. Yeah, American Dreamliner behind him. He's coming off at this exit here. What is that exit? What is that exit? It's only the real heavy ones that are going to run full length. Yeah, great shot, great shot. Jolly Jules, perfect Sunday. There we go. Claire Bear, Sukauda. Richie Henshaw. Is this the fire station that would deal with a plane fire, or is that separate? Richie, no. If there was an incident, in fact, if you remember the British Airways. The BA 777 from many years ago. There's a cruise arriving now, back from an operation. Yeah, if you remember the 777 that belly flopped literally over the other side of the airport on 27 left. These guys were one of the first crews to arrive because we're right near to the crash gate. So they would be involved in it, yes, and they regularly get called out to deal with chemical spills or whatever it might be, whether they are needed or whether it is for training purposes. Anyone going to say what? 747 SP. What was that? 747. Alpha 7. Jet the Cat is watching. Oh, that's Jet the Cat in the donut, wasn't it? Yes. What's that? Psst, 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 psst. And hello to all the cats who are watching. Look, watch when. Look, this is a cat one. Look. What's that? What's that? Where's that going? Head's just tilted sideways, mate. Head's just tilted sideways. And a paw on it. I got paws on it. Oh, okay. Nigel was asking what the shortened 747s were called. Shortened in length, but extended in their capability of distance capabilities, if you see what I mean. Special performance was the designation. SP was special performance. It was a much shorter aircraft, had a much taller, well not much taller, but had a taller tail fin, vertical stabiliser, much like you see with the A318s in the Airbus family. But the reason for that was because it could fly longer distances, the 747 SP. Range, there we go, longer range. spit it out, son, spit it out. So a very warm welcome to everybody. It is 10, blimey, feels like 3 in the afternoon, Jill. It's 10:30 in the morning here in London. Blimey O'Reilly. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I think this Air India crew may be a little bit delayed getting to gate. You know what I might do? Stand by. I think I'm going to move. Yeah, I think we're seeing quite a few people coming over this way, walking, which can't be much fun when you've just returned from your vacation. Sounds like people walking on the beach. Look, listen. Brighton Beach, isn't it? Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. Walking down the pebbles and with your bare feet. Ooh, ooh, ah, eesh, ooh. Push back on there. Jules Harris. Reo Sandra, it might be a dumb question. Does the cockpit have a steering to turn the planes on the ground so swiftly? Please, Sandra, don't in any way, nobody think of any question as dumb. That is a great question. How do they steer the planes on the runway? Well, you've got two options. Some pilots prefer to use the rudder pedals. So steering the aircraft in the air and generally to turn it left and right is normally using the ailerons, but also there's you use the rudder as well, much like a boat, the same way. The steering of the aircraft, you can use the rudder pedals, which are attached to the steering at the front of the aircraft, and also linked in to the rear gear steer on some aircraft like the 777, A380, 747, etc. In general, you know, when you're steering the aircraft, you're using the foot pedals, or you're using what's known as the tiller, which is much the same as a boat, where you're using a tiller on a boat when you're sitting at the back of the boat, or you know, on a small boat, that is. But obviously on a bigger boat, on a ocean liner, you literally have a steering mechanism, much the same as back in the old days. Hard to port there, sonny. Yeah, it's and the steering mechanism is active up to around about between 60 or 80 knots, something like that. I think it's 60 knots when you're taking off. So once you reach a certain speed, then the steering mechanism is locked and disconnects from the front gear steering, and then you are reliant primarily on the rudder to the airflow, because obviously above 80 knots you get an airflow which makes the aircraft react to. See, look at the big split rudder on the A380. See it? Look at that. Perfect example. And the reason why that is split, folks, is just so as to minimise the amount of pressure on the tail assembly itself. If that whole rudder was one piece, then you'd find that it would put a tremendous amount of strain on the aircraft. So when this one touches down, you'll see they'll use the foot pedals to steer the aircraft. And here it comes now. And in calm conditions like this, whoa, easy, mate, bang. That was pretty heavy, wasn't it? Wow, that was early as well. Big glass of milk before he came out. Look. Jay Manx gifted a membership. Nick Fishenden's gifted a membership. Thank you. Wow, we've got Duncan 038 has also gifted a membership. Thank you, Duncan. Nick Gray gifting 10 memberships. Thank you, sir. Cole V is a brand spanking new member. Welcome, Cole V, channel member on Big Jet TV. Great to see you. Rock Shubham, what happened to the Concorde? Well, Rock, are you talking about the one that was at the... are you talking potentially about the one that was at Heathrow's Gate Guardian? Are you talking about the Concorde itself in terms of what part are you talking about there? And I will obviously fill you in as much as I can. Obviously, Concorde retired many moons ago. Well, not many moons ago, but quite some time ago. Operations ceased as a result of fuel costs, really, and you know, the fact that people were looking a lot for not so much low cost flying, but also, I mean, in terms of luxury, Concorde wasn't really that luxurious, was it? You know, nowadays with these wide-body jets, you sit down and sleep even. It's far more comfort. Very smooth. Rolls-Royce Trent XWB engines, given the designation XWB purely because that engine, even though it is the Trent family, was developed alongside the Airbus A350. So Airbus would have probably put the tender out, I'd imagine, to the other engine manufacturers. But I think they maybe came back, didn't have the money to develop an engine potentially. You just don't know the story, the full story behind it. But Rolls-Royce, unless of course Rolls-Royce, Airbus said to Rolls-Royce, hey, listen, if you want to exclude, don't they have, is it not by law they have to tender it? Look at the wing deflex here, folks. Look at that. Isn't that crazy, man? Yeah, that is a great question, I have to say, regarding the steering of the aircraft, because not a lot of people know. Obviously, you know, lots of people know that they use either a yoke on the Boeing or a side stick, as they do on the Airbus, apart from the A300, that is. But how do they steer it on the runway? Some people may think that they do it using the yoke, but it's either one of the two, the tiller or the rudders, the rudder pedals. Oh, Brian Stewart, couple of cruisers above. Okay, there's one I've missed. Oh, yeah. One heading west. I'm just gonna. Oh, okay. So right now the pilots will obviously the aircraft has reached the speed at which the steering mechanism is actuated. There is an actuator system on the 777 which activates the rear gear steer as well. I think it's around about 3 degrees or something like that. It's only when the front gear steering reaches a certain degree of steer that the main back gear will also activate. But this pilot could be steering the aircraft either using the tiller mechanism. On some aircraft there is only one side, a tiller mechanism. I think it might be the Boeings where there's only a steering tiller on the left on the captain's side. But also potentially most pilots prefer to use the rudder pedals to steer. So multiple options, well not multiple options, but options of nice. So they got a new SATCOM blister on top of that jet. Looks like a relatively new one that hasn't been painted yet. I think that might be the case. Oh, okay, here we go. Startup. Now, this American jet that's just arrived, he may be a little bit early. I think they may be waiting for that gate to open up. But the hum that you can hear, folks, is the Rolls-Royce Trent 800 engine, which is on that American jet there. Hear it? Oh, okay, pilot boy. Rudder only steers up to 7 degrees. Okay, well, what's the average? If you 7 degrees. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. It's funny, isn't it? You get conflicting comments from even from pilots. I'm guessing because it's so sort of like it's just. The procedure is just pretty standard to them. I'm guessing that they learn about the steering options when they're learning to fly. But once they've learned that, it's the sort of thing that maybe. So only 7 degrees. So when he needs to make a, you don't need to turn it fully 90 degrees, do you? When you're very. So what is 7 degrees then in terms of turning an aircraft? Is that a sharp turn, 7 degrees? J Mank, the deck 747 sim at Barton Aerodrome, couldn't steer it on the ground for yeah, there you go. When I do my sim training, folks, or my sim shows, should I say, that's one of the factors, one of the things that I'm going to have to learn and get it and perfect it, because you ain't going anywhere unless you can really steer an aircraft. I mean, you can, but the thing is that when you steer an aircraft, it's when you steer an aircraft, it's a case of like oversteer and understeer. There's a lot of oversteer going on. Scott McLeod, the tiller is used to taxi. The rudder pedals are used in the air and landing and takeoff. Okay. Okay. Okay, landing, takeoff. I've got that in the air. Yeah, not very much in the air, to be honest with you, but maybe a tiny little bit of trim. I don't know, but generally the rudder, once the aircraft is in the air, most of its movement is the ailerons, high and low speed ailerons, depending on the type of aircraft. Are we back on? Okay, we're back on. Sorry folks, sorry about that. Cloud. Okay, I'm going to wait until you're 100% sure that I'm on. Yeah? Am I on? Okay. Sorry, folks. Okay, Scott McLeod, thank you for the information. Tiller is used to taxi. The rudder pedals are used in the air and landing and takeoff, but the rudder pedals can also be used for taxiing as well, can't they? Don't pilots get the options? Don't pilots get the option? I mean, I'm talking about maybe on some aircraft, not on others. I don't know. And Pilot Boy also confirming on a steep turn you've got to use the tiller. Okay, on a steep turn. So is that classified as a steep turn? That's pretty steep to me. So you're saying that is utilising the tiller. So you've got the option of, well, go around. Bloody hell, man. Yeah, it's Lufthansa late. Lufthansa pretty late by the looks of it. Yeah, just departing the runway. Okay, rudder disconnect on the tiller. The tiller has a rudder disconnect that allows the rudder to be tested during taxi. Okay, so I've gotcha. So if they're wanting to do an F&F check whilst they're on the move, a lot of pilots do the F&F check when they're or when they've just pushed back, whilst they're completing the pushback operation. But like he says there, it has a disconnect where they want to maybe check the run. This is what happened to me the other day when they. Has he pulled into that gate a little bit askew, perhaps, that American jet? Because that was a very tight turn. Pilot Boy, you can tell when the tiller isn't used as the rudder doesn't move in the turn. Yeah, you see, that's another thing that I not question, because obviously Pilot Boy, you obviously by the sounds of it, you're obviously a qualified pilot. You know what you're talking about. But the amount of times that I've seen an aircraft taxiing and the rudder makes tiny incremental movements, which means that the rudder and the steering mechanism, all those three elements are all linked together at that particular point in time. We might get an example of it, I don't know, but it is something that I've observed before. Pilot boy, has he botched it? I'm just questioning that, because that was a very tight turn into gate, wasn't it? And then he would have had to make another tight turn. Now, where's this Virgin jet going? Is he going in the gate next to him? Yeah, very possibly. And don't forget also, Chili, there's coaches that have cell coverage as well, cell using... This guy looks like he's stuck, man. I'm not sure what's going on there. Either that or the jet bridge is just not... because he's going into that gate there, isn't he? Because when we were stuck outside the gate the other week, it said, "Halt, do not move." Heathrow. The rudder movement is mostly instinctive by pilots. No rudder is needed for taxiing on the ground. No, obviously not. Nose wheel steering entirely commanded by the tiller. Okay, there we go. So, I see. So what you're saying is that when they're using the tiller, they might instinctively apply a little bit of rudder. Is that what you're saying? Because that completely... that makes it understandable that they're sort of like just touching the rudder pedals. Lifty 340 over the top, I'm hearing. There's one cruiser, there's two cruisers, there's three cruisers. Oh, come on, mate. We can get this. We can get this. Come on, son. Oh, mate. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Beautiful. Sorry. So Heathrow, thank you for the info. So that's instinctively, just by habit, I'm guessing, applying a little bit of rudder, but that's not making any. That's having no effect on the steering at all. It is all done on the tiller. So there we go. So. That's crazy, because it was a pilot who told me that they prefer to steer using the rudder pedals. That's crazy. So I've said it all along. Got it. Roger Breaker, does the rudder move left on a sharp left turn, maybe to ease strain on the tail by sweeping through the wind on a sharp turn? Well, the rudder really is, I think I'm right in saying this, that the rudder is generally not used when the aircraft is in flight. Maybe somewhat on auto land when they're, but in high winds, you know, just to correct the aircraft, but in general, everything when the aircraft is in the air, this is rudder's obviously in action now, isn't it? To steer it down the runway, keeping the nose nice and as straight as possible. And yeah, of course, when the aircraft is taking off, someone's saying at 40 knots there, the tiller is deactivated. The steering mechanism is well, it's not so much deactivated; it's actually locked, isn't it? Because you wouldn't want to be going high speeds down the runway with a loose nose wheel, would you? Wobbling around all over the gaff. Jim, good question. That's something that that Airbus are actually developing at the moment. In regards to autopilot or auto land and taxi, isn't it? Auto takeoff and land. Taxi, takeoff and land. I think Atoll, isn't it? It's Atoll that Airbus are developing. Well, we saw them actually utilising that the prototype on the A350 quite a few years ago at Toulouse. So to get it, to put it in a nutshell, and good luck with me doing that, the steering on the taxiways and during takeoff up to 40 knots is using the tiller. Is that right? The tiller is not used. The rudder pedals are not used at any point during merely for taxiing at low speeds. Once the aircraft reaches 40 knots, the front steering mechanism will lock, and everything is turned onto the rudder. Now, when just rewind there a little bit. In regards to takeoff, when they power up, do they get the option of using the tiller, or do they get the option of using the rudder? But will the rudder action also use the steering? If you see what I mean. Douglas Butcher, pilot boy, talking about the A380 rudder. Oh, okay, Roger Slater, don't miss at 12:30, Qatar A340-200 going out, very rare. Yeah, we'll get that. It's a shame we're just in at 12:30 in it. Oh well. That's gonna come. Yeah. If we were over the other side, we would have not seen that lining up. Well, we would have seen it coming out from. It would have probably taxied down Sierra, I would imagine. Kishore Lam saying that the subject to the airport being equipped with sensors and signals to give the example, 777 is the first fully capable aircraft except thrust reverse to taxi, takeoff and land and taxi. Interesting. I wasn't aware of that. So some airports are equipped with sensors that will give it the option to taxi automatically, or would it maybe not literally? Does it actually literally take control of the aircraft like autopilot, or is it a Is it a system which a bit like a Waze navigation, in-car navigation? Perhaps. There's a lot of people walking down here with suitcases and stuff. Obviously, these are people who couldn't be bothered to wait for taxis and stuff. Alan Lewis, Chad Hart, Michelle Robello. When I flew a tiny Piper Warrior, it was feet only on the tarmac. The instructor let me move full control while we taxied. There we go. Yeah. It's kind of what I've said all along about the tiller, the speed activation. Around about 40 knots. I thought it was 60 knots, but maybe I'm wrong. But a pilot would you fly? Would you when you've have I got Nick Gray? Did I get Nick Gray's 10 channel membership? I think, yeah. Thanks, Nick. This is a little go around just now. Yeah, I have to say, when I was trying to steer the Dreamliner on the taxiway, it is most definitely something that you have to really sort of concentrate on, because you can quite easily oversteer it, because once you input, you can find yourself sort of like oversteering it, so then you're sort of like counteracting it with a bit of like, you know, coming back the other way, and then you end up sort of like zigzagging along the taxiway. Thank you, Nick. Oh, there's one of them. There's one of them, mate. Whose is that? Is that Lufty? They're all Lufty, are they? Look, see what you could have had, British Airways. See what you could have had, BA, eh? See what you're missing out on? All that extra capacity. I hope your accountants are sort of like biting their lip at the moment. Oh, God, why did we do that? Why did we do that? Upper management they just freaked out, didn't they? The BA just freaked out. Get rid of them all, quickly, hurry up. That's old livery and all in it. Oh, there's one behind it, is there? Is it an 8 or a 4?
8.
Oh, easy, son, easy. Whoa, this might be a go around. No. That was a little bit of, that was a little bit of sort of like, you know, we ballooned it, didn't he? I'm gonna, that's one thing that I'm gonna, obviously the whole taxiing, using the steering mechanism and all that kind of stuff, that's something that we're gonna cover in the sim show that I do. And that is not in a, that is using a simulator that is used by oh, there she is, man. Yeah. I got it. That's a, you know, like a certified simulator. Yeah, no, I've got him. Oh no, this is. So that MEA jet, may have reported back to that 777 that we're just about to see. There's a bit of ground turbulence. Would you call it ground turbulence, or silent, quiet as a dormouse. Pilot boy, you can tell when the tiller is used as the rudder doesn't move in the turn. Okay. So what you're saying is that the yeah, but you're saying, 1 minute you're saying that you don't use the see that see that hard over right there. Now you're telling me that the pilot is well, obviously you know what you're talking about, you guys, far more than me. But you're saying that rudder input was instinctively done by the feet of the pilot. Here it comes again, turning right, rudder hard over to the right, or the split rudder, should I say, or the lower segment of the rudder. It's all very confusing, isn't it? Am I getting duplicating? Ian Burns gifted 5 memberships. Thanks, Ian. Rob LHR. Yeah, I think you're right, Rob. Emirates certainly does have the majority of the most quad jets of any operator. 140 in it, something like 140, 135, 140 Emirates 380s in operation. Robbie, I know that the rudder itself is not used for ground steering. I know because there's no airflow. The rudder only comes into effect at around about 80 knots because of the airflow. I'm aware of that. God almighty, I'm going round in circles here, aren't I? What I'm saying is that I have noticed when they steer sometimes that the rudder moves as well. When they steer, like he's gonna turn off here, right? Okay, so turning right. Now sometimes, as we saw on that triple just now, the rudder will move with the tiller. But this one isn't. But Khusro actually answered my question, and that is that instinctively the pilot sometimes will also use if they're turning right, they might input a little bit of right rudder, just because it's an instinctive thing to do. Derek Peacock's gifted a channel membership. Thank you, Derek. Really appreciate it. We have a 380. Got a little bit of drift going on here, haven't we? Beverly George BA 380 from Washington. Reza, what's the story behind increasingly dismantling A380s by airlines? Well, that is for, they're breaking the aircraft for spares. Korean, obviously Air France have got rid of all of theirs. Whether they obviously broke them for spares, and so they are dismantling them, but they're dismantling them to so that they've got spares for their remaining aircraft. Even Emirates have dismantled. Freddie Lake, a negative, you know, because again, like the previous comment, you know, the rudder is only effective when you're traveling at least 60 or 80 knots, something like that. So vacating the runway at 60 or 80 knots would not be recommended unless you want to rip the gear off or damage. Well, you wouldn't make it. You'd slew off the runway. The exit anyway. Harley One, learning so much from these shows. Oh, there she is, right over the top of me. I doubt I'm gonna get it. Pilot boy fun fact: the A380 rudder only allows half of the rudder in the air, and on touchdown the whole assembly becomes active. Okay, so in the air, you're saying in the air, when the aircraft is basically off the ground, only half of the rudder is active. That's interesting, because I've noticed that on high wind approaches where literally the rudder, you can see the lower portion of the rudder working over time, literally. That's interesting. So it is, so I'm guessing, understandably, you know, it's such a big tail on it, isn't it, that potentially if you were to use the entire rudder, then you could literally put a lot of strain and stresses on the assembly, on the vertical stabilizer. Bloody hell. Captain Fufu, on Airbus you can disable the rudder on the ground with the joystick. Nice. Yeah, there's a number of buttons on the joystick, isn't there? On the Airbus. So you can deactivate it. Mark Phillips, aircraft seem to be lower on Sundays, from my view. In the garden on Sundays, not all but a few more than weekdays. Well, Chile was just saying that little 319 just went over the top and it was screaming its fan blades off. Fly SSC, thank you. Alex Hilton, yes, posh, not posh. hold on a minute. I know one thing I haven't done, Julie. Ah, I didn't get the CAG number, did I? Yeah. Let me, right, just put it on. Stand by.
You have. No, like your colleague said, if they had number and been active,
They probably
they would have. Yeah.
Anyway,
Hello, body cam.
What are you recording on?
YouTube.
What camera's that?
YouTube. That's little Panasonic VX. 500 quid's worth. That's all it is.
What is it?
Crazy.
I've got a degree in TV and film, as you can see it's being put to good use here.
This thing here,
Yeah.
I've tried all the big ones. The 20 grand lenses and all that sort of stuff. Panasonic said with the 2,000 pound variant of that.
Yeah.
No good. With this one, I've got analog and digital. But for the other ones, you have to click different analog settings. Yeah. This one, the zoom just goes from here to 38,000 feet, just like that. So I'd recommend it
Yeah.
because it's a great camera.
Yeah.
We've sold bucket loads of them. That's one of the biggest things that people ask us is what camera
Happy
do you use?
users. Fair enough. You're on commission, are you?
No.
How many subscribers you got now on YouTube? How many followers?
Nearly 500,000, something like
Is
that.
that it?
Well, no, it's just that we're not a big one on subscriber numbers, because really, to be honest with you, subscriber numbers doesn't mean anything really. You've got 10 million subscribers, you've only got 200 people watching. We've got 3,000 people. It's just people know the quality of the show.
How many camera operators have you got out of that?
Me. I've basically done everything, and I've got Jimmy back at base. And they're all waiting for me.
When I get off and drive away, because I'm alright.
Huh?
It's all good when I get off and drive away.
Alright, thank you.
Crack on unless we shall.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's my fault, folks, for not. Can I just say one thing?
Go on.
You might want to move the van further down that way, because if these guys have to come out, they always come out of these gates here. So if they.
We're watching.
Thanks, though.
Thank you. The hum of the Trents. Now that's again that's the efficiency of the local security teams, folks. It has to be done, and that's my fault for not getting a CAD number, which I'm really usually on top of. Have we stopped Tiller talk? But I'll tell you what, it will be interesting to know when I do the simulator shows. We're going to do one at the end of this month, and then if it's popular, we'll do a series of shows which will go through the basics of operating an aircraft, and also of course in I wouldn't like to say emergency situations, but like, on approach or loss of an engine on takeoff, losing an engine on takeoff, which is pretty much a big emergency. Crosswind landings, all that sort of like challenging stuff that pilots don't regularly get to engage with, unless of course you're somewhere like Haneda or somewhere where it's notorious for crosswinds or windy conditions. It's it what. So it's a taxi stuck in the tunnel, Jilly. Did you hear that? GP. It's okay. No, it's a taxi stuck in the tunnel. They just told me. Nick 1744 is a brand new channel member. Well, I think it was just generally. I just think the traffic was just generally bad. Yeah, but there's a taxi stuck in the tunnel, mate. So they've got to get a vehicle in there. They can't tow it. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's compounded it, hasn't it, with weekend traffic and all of this stuff going on. CPR United 787 descending over him now. Virgin 330 300 ahead of it. Both will be landing at Heathrow around 25 to 30 minutes, depending on the holds. Carol, yes. Tracy. Yeah, tunnels down to one lane, and that's if you're lucky, because when they get that, I'm guessing that when they get that the recovery vehicle in there, they're going to have to shut the whole bleeding thing, and they can't. It's an electric taxi, so they can't tow it apparently. Yeah. Okay, aviation addict. One thing I've always wanted to know about flying Airbus is how long it takes pilots to overcome the dominant hand thing when working the joystick from the wrong side. Well, I'm going to tell you now, aviation addict, and I'm not a pilot. I think you've probably gathered that. But I've obviously traditionally every simulator that I tried before I flew the Airbus, flew the Airbus sim, that is. I left and right. If you're right-handed, you know, I've flown in the left-hand seat. The captain's nice funky shot there, man. I've flown in the left-hand seat of the Airbus, and I didn't find it odd at all. So the transitioning is not something that sort of like, you know, takes you more time to get used to. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't any issue at all. Beverly George, Baggy Boo. Sim show sounds wonderful. As a nervous flyer, that would be really helpful. Well, Baggy Boo, yeah. I mean, obviously you need to consider that I'm going to be the one who's... Oh, wow, was that a touch? And then another touch? Certainly looked like it. Big kick of rudder there to straighten her up. Dulux Special. Is that one of the leased aircraft? Nick Wunson 44, it's kind of comfortable either way. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm put it this way, trying to write with me left hand, forget it. Trying to saw a piece of wood with my left hand, forget it. But operating an aircraft, a joystick, perfectly comfortable with it. I don't know if it's a psychological thing or what. Gareth Allen, how often are the tyres changed on these aircraft? Well, that's a great question, and it does pop up quite regularly. I think it's a certain amount of cycles, landing and takeoff. I think that's is it 7,000 cycles? Hello, we've got a bit of a tailwind coming up here, Jilly. A bit of a tailwind. Are they landing in a bit of tail? Is that why the a bit of smoke coming off that port side assembly. Yes, Mr. Carlos, you do get used to it, I think. Well, you say you get used to it. I think it's down to the individual, most definitely, isn't it? But I didn't. I was a little bit sort of like, I'm going in the left seat. I'm more dominant with me right hand. Is flying it from the left seat going to be a little bit more challenging? And no, it's not. Michael K, this one in from JFK. not sure if the A350-1000 has a rear gear steer on it. I'm not sure. I don't think. I don't know. I'm going to let somebody answer that for me. No 777 does. Obviously, 380 with the body gear has a rear gear steer. The 777, 747, 380. Not sure as the 350 does have an actuator system on it. Nick saying aircraft tyres endure significant wear and tear during landings and takeoffs. Well, during takeoff, Nick, really? I don't know about takeoff, more so during landings, I would have thought, because obviously, you know, these are these tyres are seriously heavy duty to start with. They're made of very, very thick, strong rubber. But obviously, the tyres, the wheels themselves, when they extend the landing gear, they don't. Hold on, stand by.
Well, to start with, the whole process was started with these guys. That's weird because above what it is.
Cheers, then. Thank you. Really confusing. Anyway, whatever. Apparently so. Yeah, but that's the all I've got to do is renew the street works tomorrow. But I called the traffic desk this morning to activate this one, and they said, yeah, fine. Gave them the number. They said, no problem, and they have to put it in as well. So I don't know what that's all about. Not at all. I just call whenever I'm going to go to a position, because I never know what I'm going to do from day to day. I just call them up and activate the permit, which is this one, and the other one is an annual renewal. So this one shouldn't have been this one shouldn't have expired. Minutes. Yeah, I just get engineering to extend it. But she's away. I think it's all right, mate. It's all right. It's just a massive bit of confusion there. That's the. Should have stayed in bed. Got to be thorough, though, man. You've got to be thorough. You can't be sort of like, you know. But I must admit, I'm a little bit confused because I activated it. No. Yeah. Yeah, no, I activated it, man. And they were all like, yeah, okay, good to go, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they would have said it. Yeah, they would have said it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it was even one of the guys that knows me, you know. I mean, 99% of the time when I call up the police or the traffic desk, they're like, hello Jerry, you know, blah 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 and all that, you know. It's not like they're like, who are you? Roddy Jenkins, could solar panels be incorporated into aircraft design, given that we're all supposedly cutting out carbon footprint? Solar panels, you know, that's interesting because theoretically, if you think about the option of incorporating solar panels, the difficulty with that would be the solar panels would work, but it's how you store the energy, because that means that you have to have batteries or cell systems on board and that's weight. That's a lot of weight in it. So, in answer to that, just off the top of my head, I would say it's probably, it would probably not be, it would work, but because of the amount of weight, the extra weight from the batteries, you'd probably have to reduce about half the passenger load. This is turning for your house, GP. Harry flatters. Grant Findlay is a new subscriber tuning in from Squire. Good day to you. Pilot boy, you don't need a permit to film unless you're in a location that requires a permit, which is where we are at the moment, right here. You can't just pitch up anywhere around an airport, any airport in the world, and especially to the extent that we're doing, without going through the right channels and speaking to the right people and getting the permits. And of course, you've got to appreciate, I mean, the young lady down there, she said, I know who you are, I know what you do, blah, blah, blah. But she wasn't aware of the logistics behind it, which is completely understandable. I mean, you see some bloke pitched up at the side of the London Fire Brigade with you know, I mean, some people must have the gall to do that because, you know, I can't think that there'd be anyone who'd have the audacity to just turn up somewhere, park their van and start filming from it. See ya! We're all done. Off they go. So thank you to the two officers and to our good friends at the London Fire Brigade, folks. And it is, remember what one must remember, folks, that all the places that we film from at Heathrow, apart from the hotels, are all property of Heathrow Airport Limited. So, you know, you've got to go by their rules. It's like somebody asking, do you mind if I come and film from your garden? Well, just don't know about that, mate. I mean, really? Oh, yeah, but it's for a good cause, you know. Oh, okay, you know. You've got to get permission for everything, haven't you, really? Something like that, anyway. Heathrow. Dave Billy, some sailplanes have solar panels for electricity to power radios and other avionics, but sailplanes rarely fly at night and in bad weather. Yeah, and again, you know, a sailplane. I need to get my head around that. Hold on a minute. Douglas Butcher, rear shot of the A38, will never get old. Sailplane. Okay, so a sailplane, you're talking about a glider. Is that what you're talking about, a glider? Never heard it be described like that, but a sailplane, by the sounds of it, is a glider. And yes, of course, a glider doesn't carry any passengers. I mean, sometimes they're two up, but other than that, you know, so you can afford to, yeah, you can put a couple of solar panels, one on each wing or something, that would indeed power electronic systems and radios and transmitters and stuff like that. Andrew. Douglas Butcher. Nib7275 is a brand new channel member. Good day to you, Nib. I hope you're well. We're at London Heathrow. We are guests of the London Fire Brigade, folks. And noisy little set of IAEs. Little bit of housekeeping, folks, just for our friends at the LFB. And you know what? Even if it brings to the attention one person going, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. But these guys at the LFB obviously do, as well as, you know, looking after everybody's safety, fighting fires and helping out in road traffic accidents and stuff like that in general. They also carry out awareness campaigns, safety awareness campaigns, and one of the big things that we've touched on before is obviously the use of batteries, cells, you know, lithium, all that kind of stuff. And how dangerous they can be if they're not treated correctly, stored correctly, charged correctly, and used correctly in general. So just that's something that I've always been since I've started using rechargeable lithium batteries, I've been very careful about charging them and storing them and so on and so forth. I only use 90 below 100 megawatts per hour. Is it megawatts per hour? No. What is it, Julie? Hold on. Let me have a look on this one. Yeah. It is 92. These batteries that I use are 92 mH. Yeah, megawatts per hour. I think it is. Is that megawatts though? But that basically means the amount of power that they can output. And of course, you know, there are some dodgy manufacturers out there, folks, and you never know. You need to be very careful about where you get your batteries from. But these guys at LFB, if you visit their website, we had a 6,000% increase in people visiting their website last time we were here. And as a result of that, we may have saved someone's life. You never know. And what you learn from that may be something that you know, next time you're around someone's house and you see their bicycle charging up in the lounge and it's like, oh really? Do you charge that up during the night? Like, yeah. I charge my batteries, all my batteries get charged up during the day and generally when I'm there in the property as well. Don't leave anything unattended, that kind of thing. Oh mate, oh Jilly. I needed 500 feet on that tonight. Well, we can't get shot of it anyway. Nice. She might go off there. Oh, milliwatts. Is it milliwatts? I don't remember them saying milliwatts. It was all megawatts. Oh, there we go. Mark Perry, milliamp per hour. There we go, milliamp. That's it. MAH equals milliamp hours. Steve Banks, that's right. And that's how long it'll last for. So 92 is 92 minutes of milliamp power. Okay, there we go. That's my favourite Iceland Air livery right there, folks. Nick Woodward's still the best looking. It is, isn't it? You can throw any new Iceland Air livery at me or anything. I still love that livery, and I would like to think that Iceland Air would maybe keep that. I mean, the one good thing about the delay in aircraft production and deliveries, folks, is the fact that aircraft is still with us. I know for a fact, and we all know for a fact, that Iceland Air would much rather have an A321neo or a 737 MAX 9 in their fleet to replace that aircraft, because those RB211s cost a lot of money, don't they? Funky. Yeah, nice. I'm going to stick with that 7.5 just for a little bit, because she's beautiful, isn't she? Rolls-Royce RB211s. Fan blades on those things. You know, in terms of spares, kind of running out, really. Oh, no. You see, now that is 400 feet GP. So I was going to say, otherwise it'll go around. Oh, she's beautiful, man. Gareth Allen, great looking plane. That is Iceland Air's 757-300, folks. And we're blessed when we see her, because we don't get much stuff that's powered by Rolls-Royce RB211s anymore. 12, don't forget 12:30, got another half an hour before. Look out for that, it probably won't. Oh, this should be good. That, PAG. Yeah. And we're getting the 98s, aren't we? We're getting the 98s. Which we can... Was it 99, was it? Mark, Andrew, Terry, no room to move around. It's a single aisle, isn't it? It's the same as single aisle jet, 757. It's quite a tight squeeze, yes, I agree. Still a beautiful aircraft, though. And you know, it doesn't have the same seats in it did when it was born, obviously. Nathan P, 747-400 runs two RB211s, or am I totally wrong? Nathan P, you're right, because some 747-400s, like the ex-BA fleet, all run the Rolls-Royce RB211. In fact, interestingly enough, I heard a story not that long ago that apparently Atlas Air are getting rid of all their 747s that are running Pratt & Whitney and GEs, and going all Rolls-Royce RB211. I'm wondering why, the reason that is. Maybe they're just easier to get spares for, or and on that basis, because of the amount of 747s that, like the BA fleet, all those 747, all those engines that the BA fleet had will have been bought out potentially as spares. It's not crazy, but it's great how flush those doors go with the reverses. She's still sitting there, giving us a good look at her. Looks like they've stolen engines from the DHL cargo, Trixie's saying. Well, we're covered on all angles. I don't understand that. I'll find out. Oh, we got a gear door problem there. Not gear door problem, but that gear, there's still one of the wheels is... Interesting that gear doors didn't come down. They went for a gear up procedure, but they must have some kind of a... They must have some kind of a warning that's come up, flagged up on the systems to show that one of the wheels is continuing to spin. Maybe a one of the brake systems has failed. Hydraulic systems on that Airbus jet. That's a lot of drag there as well. Oh, was that a little bit of brake dust that I saw there? I don't know, but she's very late in retracting the gear. Could also be the stowage where the gear goes up into the landing gear undercarriage bay. There are sensors in the bay as well, which it may be a sensor's failed in there, so they're not able. They have to wait for a certain amount of time for the gear to cool enough for them to retract the gear. But like I say, that causes a significant amount of drag. Dirty configuration, it's sometimes classified as. Gear's still down, usually around about 2 minutes. Here we go, gear going up now, is it? Is it going up? Yeah, there he is. There it is. Usually around about 2 minutes after departure. Yeah, it's still gridlock, mate. It's still gridlock, Julie. Oh, okay. Was there someone? Cheers, mate. That was a bike horn. I love that, man. Carol, yes, you're right. We have reached out, by the way. I have reached out to air traffic control, the official people who give the official word, but we are looking to see if we can get special permission from NATS, the National Air Traffic Services, that obviously operate here at London Heathrow as well as other airports. In fact, we just gave the guys a shout out, didn't we? That guy who did a charity run on their motorcycles all the way down to Gibraltar from Scotland. You have to look back on another show on a previous show to get information on that. But we have asked to see whether we can, and this would be the compromise for us. I've got to be honest with you, folks, because I wouldn't want to have, I wouldn't really want to have air traffic control on now, because firstly, we talk so much, that it would just be convoluting. It would just interfere with our the show in general, the flow of the show, if you know what I mean. But in a situation like we had, for example, with the Air Canada pilot the other day, where we caught his first ever time into London Heathrow, I put it to them as a proposal that we can play out ATC for a specific operation, either a departure or a landing. A departure or a landing, yeah, one of the two. So we would catch them sort of like just as they're about to catch themselves on the glide slope, before they're established on the glide slope. So we get the main control where they would say Speedbird whatever, fully established, 10 miles, and then they get the clear to land, and then they get the handoff, which would be, contact ground on whatever it might be, and that would be it. Then we would turn the radio off, and that would be the end of it. And we would do the same thing with a departure as well. If there's a special one going out, we will obviously do the same thing. Steve Stevens, yeah. Jim Armstrong would also annoy people at the hotel. Okay. Aaron Thompson, he flew on a Thompson Airways 747, which was X first choice. Oh, CPR. After this Iberia jet, we've got 6 heavies in a row. And a partridge in a pear tree. On the first day of landings, my true love will do me. An Airbus A330. So this has got the. So we've got somebody on EK1. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? I call them clamshell reversers. There is an official name for them. Rolls-Royce. Trent 700. CPR, the second of the 6 heavies after this Virgin. It's the United 787-9 I mentioned earlier. What's so special about this thing? I think we might have the whole of that Christmas Carol written by the end of the show, Jilly. 5 golden queens. For Trent 9th Street. Is that it going out again? Is that it going out again? It is, isn't it? Look. Yeah. They'll be back in a... Yeah. See you in a bit. Still there. Oh dear. Nothing worse, mate. Nothing worse. Oh. There's nothing worse, mate, than... Doesn't matter what plane you are on, I guess, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter what plane you're on. Even if you're on an A380, you've had enough by the time you get to the airport, haven't you? And you really want to see the back of it. You don't want to be sitting outside the gate for 40 minutes when you can see the gate. You can literally smell the coffee from the terminal, and yet you can't get off. Wow, no reversers. No reversers. Interesting. I mean, I know it's nothing special or nothing like, oh my God, no reverse. But it's just sort of like, you know, very rare to see. I mean, of all the aircraft we've seen landing today, all of them have used their reversers, from what we've seen anyway. Obviously, either very light and it's just used the brakes and the ground spoilers, or may have had malfunctioning reversers. Yeah. Avro Arrow, this location is cool. Awesome. Thanks, Avro. Glad people like it. Don't thank me, thank the LFB. And if anyone you're going to thank Jono. Hope you're well, mate. Thank me, don't thank me, thank the LFB. Obviously, NASA designed reversers there, not the reversers, but the shape, the style. That's a NASA developed supposed to be for to reduce the sound note, which it does. Steph, EGPX, Roger, Big Joe, right wing reverser. Oh, right wing reverser was deployed, Big Joe. Thanks, mate. So yeah, a faulty reverser on the port side. Nigel Armstrong, slinger lining up for departure. I've just looked right and seen the tail, thank you. Indeed, just landed at Heathrow on that Virgin whose thrust reversed the doors you were commenting on. I'm rewinding the video and I've drawn quite a crowd in the cabin getting a glimpse of our landing. There we go. Nice one, Nick. Hello everybody on that Virgin plane, hello. Rewind it and show it to the pilots that probably know we are. Oh, Dave Beeler, that's very true actually, I've heard about that. The reversers can be locked out by maintenance, but it restricts landing capabilities. Well, I've got a 2 mile long runway here for a start. Say it again. Beautiful, look at that angle of attack. Check-in bag. Yeah, just one check-in bag. Yeah. Does it say on there golf clubs or anything like that, or? It's quite heavy. Looks like we freed up a bit of traffic. There you go, that's it. Yeah, that's fine, Cheekbones. See the cheekbones, look at the cheekbones. Nick Gray flying on an E175 on Thursday for the first time. Good to be back in the air again. What's that? Yeah, it's not a case of not allowing it. It's common courtesy, isn't it? It's what's called etiquette. Oh, hello. It's etiquette, isn't it? Adults should know that, really. But, you know, obviously they allow it or not. I mean, that's why they feel whatever. Yeah. In case they're not allowed, yeah. It's just policy, isn't it? Standard channel procedures, you know. Just decency and, you know. Let's go round at someone's house. Oh, I like that house. Oh, yeah, but next door neighbour's got a much better flower garden. It's nice, isn't it? Thanks for that. We'll go round to next door neighbours then. Which one? Oh, is it? Okay. Eight Foxtrot, yeah? Oh, well, that's fine though, because there's even though there's 3 seats there, Gilly, there's no middle seat. Nigel Armstrong, Gilly, did the big jet TV icon just appear, or did I imagine it? You imagined it, Nigel. Tony, okay, we should be looking out for the Qatar Amiri flight. Captain Bob, what's that? An old Turkish 777 with clamshell reversers? No, that was a Turkish A330 with Trent 7s with clamshells. My good friend. Steph Banks, thank you. EK1, 2 out. Thank you, Steph. Is he pushing? Yeah, got it. It says blob on it though. It says blob. Yes. One arm bandit eventually maybe from flying from London to Perth and getting diverted to Karratha. Or was that the was that the diversions from the other day? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, fuel supplies, that was it. The fuel delivery system failed in Perth, didn't it? Okay, we've got John and Kelly on this one, folks. They're on the wrong side, unfortunately. And we're not going to see them at all because this will go straight down the runway and she'll use full length. She should scream past us. Faster than usual. I think it might be the angle that we're looking at here, folks. The angle that we're filming from gives it a perspective of a faster landing speed, possibly. Oofed, Tony Isbister. Flight SSC not due in, going out. Qatar Amiri A340. Is it 200, Jilly, did you say? A340 200, very, very rare. Much like their 500 that they've still got operational. Gareth Allen, I'm going to say, on Trent 700 versus called Scalloped. Yes, Kevin McGirt, indeed. The Scalloped, I kind of forgot. Like you do, you know. But yeah, the scallop shaped reverser panels that move back are indeed a NASA design. Blimey, it must be really bad. Got flight crew walking down the road. Mind you, they haven't got any. It can't be flight crew without cases. Impossible, monsieur. Where did you say they were, Jilly? Top deck. Oh, it's too, yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Garth. Fuel pipes had air in them, so an air block. Wow. Or a wow. They had to purge the system, according to local news. Oh wow, what a shot. What a shot, man. Look at that. Look at that. A long, funky shot. Yeah, baby. Pardon me. Yeah. optics shot of the day. Wow, cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Got to have your eyes permanently peeled to do this job. Got to catch the funky stuff. Keep everybody entertained. Thank you, Fly SSC, Baggy Boo, Andy P, Tony Isbister. You're getting good at this filming lark. CPR, that Q8 777 off to Kuwait. What a shocker. Singapore 38 has just rumbled over Kay's house. Me and Hannah thought we were back in Atlanta for a moment. 777 Lenny watching with his 3-year-old grandson Breeze. Watches with Big Jet Tip with me and loves big old triples. There we go. There's one for you. 777-200. One of the early, either early or later General Electric powered 777 200s with British Airways. Fly SSC, we're hoping in around about 10 minutes. Oh mate, you can't park out there, son. Great vantage point to see the angle, the tilt, the gear tilt on the 777 from this position. Something that I learned actually, the whole thing started off with Kurt from Sid Squad about the gear. I wouldn't call it. I don't know about calling it a tilt mechanism because I think it's an act. I don't know as it's not the same as the Boeing system on the Airbus A330, but when the Airbus A330 gear retracts, the mechanism, the way that it's configured, it pulls the gear a little bit straighter, so it does tilt, but I don't think it's by an actuator. I think it's by the linkages that do it. R. Healy is a brand new channel member. Good day to you, R. Healy. Nigel Armstrong, can the public still use the multi-storey car parks for spotting? If you're talking about this one over here, well then yes, I guess you can if you're prepared to pay the astronomical prices for parking there. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could theoretically get all your sandwiches and your cold drinks ready and all that kind of stuff, and then head up there and or if it's in the winter, your flasks of coffee and look at that for a wheelie. Look at that. Look at that. Wheelie King. Wow, very, very derated, isn't it? Negative. Are we going to see that? Is that Qatar Emiri flight going to be on radar, or? Oh, I'll tell you what I should have done. Alex Hilton, indeed. Which one? Yeah. John Pierce, the gear 777 gear tilts down before it is retracted. Indeed, it does. We'll catch an example of that on the next triple that goes up. But does it tilt up after it's been deployed? I think it might be either gravitationally tilted downwards, because it tilts forwards, doesn't it, before it goes up. So I think because of the geometry of it, I think that the gear naturally drops, but I think it still uses the actuator so that it doesn't sort of like just flop down. I think it might be, whether it's mechanically done or whether it's just it uses the actuator to reduce the drop, if you see what I mean. Brian Stewart, that was about as gentle as you'll see. Was that the wheelie 777 with American Airlines? Oh, okay. Airline photo spotting is 100% not allowed on car park roofs at London Heathrow. Well, there you go. He obviously has a. Yes, my apologies for saying to anybody who I'd imagine it, but no, it is not allowed, folks. So don't try it. Anyway, you get a very restricted view from what I can see. There's a lot of buildings and infrastructure in the way. Banned them from in the 90s. Wow. So there we go, folks. There you have it. From the official word is that spectating is not allowed in at London Heathrow in the parking areas. The only place really you can go would be, to be honest with you, if you're on a day out, would be the Renaissance on the bank, or at Myrtle Avenue, depending on operations, of course. Okay, 27s, Myrtle Avenue for 27s. Unless, of course, you want to do 09 departures. Yeah. Yeah, Pilot Boy, confirming that the gear does tilt up and tilts back down on gear extension, but that tilt mechanism, is that mechanically done? Is that a mechanical tilt, or is that yeah, you know, is that when the gear comes down, does it I'm imagining that it is probably a mechanical activation with the gear tilting back down, because the actuator controls that, and obviously the actuator either pushes it down or it just goes down. I wouldn't imagine that it would just go down with under its own steam, so to speak. I'd imagine that it is a mechanical operation where the hydraulic pressure is increased or decreased depending on the actuation. CPR, regarding the mentions of Qatar government, there is one on the ground in Basel at the moment. Well, there's definitely one on the ground here as well, and we're expecting to see that go out any time now, really. 12:27. It was due out at 12:30. Roger Slater telling us that, of course. Sorry about that. You don't really want to be walking on the road down there, guys. 12 degrees up and 7 degrees down, Vector. Okay, 12 degrees up and 7 degrees down. What's that we're talking about? Is that gear tilt? Listen to the head, the treads humming. I think that's over the fan blades. I think that's that hum is caused by low speed air across the fan blades. Arrow, yeah, Sydney garage was great. Much more relaxed, I've got to say. Mind you, I don't know if that garage was, I think it is part of the, it is actually part of Sydney Airports, because the operations team operate from there, don't they? Yeah. Okay, B-face, thank you. 330 have a shortened mechanism that pulls the shock absorber up into the main fitting during retraction to reduce the overall length. There we go. So it is an actuator system. So the A330 does operate an actuator system. It's not like the Boeing one, which you can see first tilts and then retracts. It tilts it as it retracts, so it's a very and it's so minimal you have to really be close up at it to see. Thank you, B-face. Mr. Rigsby, thank you. Passengers, people banned, LHR banned spectators from car parks in the 1990s, confirming that. Thank you, mate. Pilot Boy 330 gear shortens and tilts to fit into the bay, a marvel of engineering. Well, it's interesting that the Airbus A350, because the 1000 obviously has a very extensively long undercarriage because of the triple gear, and that caused what would cause any engineering designer to scratch their heads in terms of getting that gear to fit. And what Airbus did on the 1000 with their triple set is very clever. They basically narrowed the width of the middle set of wheels, the axle, the center axle on the A350 is ever so slightly narrower than the forward and aft wheels, axles, and as a result of that they were able to fit the gear in. Quite how that made such a big difference, I'm not sure, but that's what I heard. Sue Clark, welcome back, Sue, returning member. Jerry, is the North Side Heathrow Visitor Centre still operational? North Side 767 gear and the Dreamliner gear also tilt as well. Yeah, visitor centre. Yeah. Well, I mean, I say visitor centre. The academy where they park, that is still operational. So it's very limited views, I have to say. You wouldn't want to go there on a day like this. You wouldn't get to see very much. And unfortunately, because the trees are fully matured, they're 20 feet tall, so when they originally planted them, obviously they were little shrubs, but now they're sodding great big 20 foot tall trees, and unfortunately for us aviation fans, don't get to see any action until they're way past the trees. Don't see the touchdown point or anything like that. Gear's already tilted there. Okay, so did the visitor centre used to have a coffee shop then? Interesting. Yeah, well, that's not there anymore then, is it? Slow it down, son. There now. Hamad Khan 340 is Qatar. It's the royal flight. So the next one to go out, oh, that's nice, that's a nice welcome cloud. Bit of a smoky old number 2 in it on that Dreamliner. Next one to go out, Air Canada Dreamliner. Let's see if we can catch the 787 tilt. Outbound for Toronto. And there she is going now. So watch the gear tilt on the 787. It's going to be long, that's for sure, so probably catch this touchdown. And then I'm going to come back. Oh, not really. Maybe just because it's coming out of Sierra, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not in a position to see it. Is the American Dreamliner disembarking on the ground? Where's that? What's that? It is, look at that. So that's a, yeah, you guys are so observational. Look at that. Oh, that can't be much fun, mate. Obviously the jet bridge has failed or something. Wow, that's not much fun, man. At all, is it? John Grinham would have been a good day for that new location on 27 right today in this weather. Which one are you talking about, John? If you're talking about the end of the runway, you'd have far too much heat haze, I think. What you're talking about, head-on landings? There's not much of a crosswind element as far as I'm aware, as far as I can see. There is a bit of one, isn't there? Fly SSC, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind that getting off remote, because then you get to see the engine, take pictures, and hear all the sounds and the smells and stuff like that. But getting on the bus, that's not much fun, is it? If they were on 2.7, yeah, operations really, yeah. I always like to be last on the bus, so that I'm right next to the doors, last on, first off. So I will sit if we're disembarking on the using which they have out of one door. I guess they've done that just to keep control over everyone. Otherwise, you have people running all over the gaff. Yeah, I would be last off always. With the buses yes, EGPX indeed. And plus, not only that, but being bussed out to your plane is pretty cool. But when you've just arrived off of a 9-hour or whatever, how long it is flight, you're not really sort of. I just want to get out of the terminal and get home and relax. Being butted up against a shed load of other passengers, smelly and all sniffing and coughing and all that kind of thing, angry and and that's just me. It's very difficult unless you know exactly what you're looking for, but yeah, like someone was saying, very clever bit of engineering. Would you want to try that? Do you want to try head-on arrivals? Nothing to lose, have we? Okay, well, right, folks. Should we do that then? Do you fancy head-on arrivals? Try something a bit different. I'll need an hour because I've got to take this lot down. This is quite a big deal, and I'm going to grab some lunch and back around about what? Hold on a minute. Oh, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah. 3:40. Yeah. Don't get too excited, son. Someone's got a bit of cash, haven't they, eh? Look at that. Yeah. Little Joey going out. What's that, Skip? We're going to stick around. We're going to stick around for the 340. Well, that's if it's. Has Roger Slater got an update? Have we got an update on that 340? Sorry about that. Adrian, good question, but yeah, to be honest with you, it's a bit of Gatwick's a difficult one because there's not a great deal going on at Gatwick, and you know, and unless there's an absolutely really good reason to go down there, Manchester is a little bit sort of, you know, I kind of let the other guys do that. I'm not let them, but obviously, you know, it's their patch, and I don't know. I mean, you know, it's got, again, it's a bit sort of like, you know, Ryanair, EasyJet, squeeze, repeat. Ryanair, EasyJet, squeeze, repeat, and it. Oh, Virgin 330. Ryanair, EasyJet, squeeze, repeat sort of thing. I mean, they get 380 up there, the 380 up there, amongst other stuff. But you know, why would you want to go anywhere else when you've got this on your doorstep for your you know, plus so many different options in terms of positions. So it's kind of looked after up there. Yeah, we're trying to get an update on the 340 at the moment, folks, but we're looking to see whether the only problem with the other end is the fact that obviously, you know, 99% of stuff is doesn't even reach anywhere near the other end. So Mark Atkins, thank you. Yeah, we've got the other options of departures at the Hilton Garden Inn, of course, folks. That's another option. Straight out here, we can oversee the southern side of the airfield, and you know, potentially a lot of heavy action later on as well. That kind of, maybe thinking about it, you might be right, Julie. I think that sounds like a good plan. And the cat says yes. Yes. That was heavy on the front. Yeah. Nice. Brian Stewart HCI would be good. I mean, it'd be good if we knew that there was a delay to it, actually, because then I could, mind you, the one thing I definitely do not need to do is I'm going to have to drive all the way round anti-clockwise around the airport, aren't I, to get to the HGI. I'm definitely not going to take that lot on. Sprat67 is a returning channel member. Welcome back, Sprat. Little bit of overflow coming out the mast. You might see it actually below the engine there. You see the little mast there? That's an outlet valve for a number of different systems. You might see a little bit of what appears to be smoke, but it's you know, we were just talking about it. Sprat67 is going to be staying at the Hilton Garden Inn. Make sure you use the discount code Sprat. That's all on your perks. HGC Rolls-Royce. Finished deplaning. Yeah, I don't know about heat haze at the Hilton because we're looking. Don't think it would affect it that much. Certainly at the far end of the runway, we would be affected by heat haze, of course. Thank you, Paul Skilling. So that Virgin jet waiting for one of these gates to clear, and I'm thinking it might be this one here. Looks like there's a pilot doing a walk around check on that BA jet. That's right. Yeah, no. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the matches. Thursday night and then Friday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's good, mate. That's good. That's good because that gives me a day to sort of like get back into. Yeah, 11:45 departing Malaga. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And they're an hour ahead, aren't they? Are they at? Yeah, okay, so 10:45 and 12. Okay, so about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock, rock. 1:45. There we go. 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Sorry. Eight o'clock. Rock. Sorry. Stop it. Stop it. Paul Whittle saying IATA codes for Staines International, both LST and STI, are currently not in use by any airport. Thought you'd like to know. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, we can't register it, but I can't think that anyone's going to suddenly build an airport. Just keep an eye on that, GP. So we're going to, I think STI would definitely be the one, wouldn't it? Yeah, STI would be the one, wouldn't it? Thank you, Paul. He's done some research for us. You're a star. Thanks, mate. So the Staines International will now have an official IATA code, STI. We should see if we can get. We should see if we can get. Flight Radar 25 to officially recognise it, but then we'd have to do Nuffingen, wouldn't we? We'd have to do Nuffingen and all that. Oh yeah, no STI. Oh God, no. Paul, is that a joke, mate? Is that a joke? Are you having a laugh or what? yeah, LST. Oh dear. Yeah, sorry about that. Who brought that to your attention then, Jilly? Was that you, or just thinking about it, or? Yeah. No, definitely not STI. Okay. Kathy Marshall, welcome back. Kathy Marshall, first class channel member. A very warm welcome back, Kathy. Lots of people saying it could be dodgy. Oh yeah, but STD, isn't it STD, not STI? Yeah, don't want to catch that flight, do you? You're itching all the way to wherever you're going to. Ooh, missed that 767-400. Yeah. Right, folks, we're going to make a move. Bust a move. Stephen Morris, welcome. Brand new channel member. Welcome to First Class, Stephen. Good to see you here. Thank you, everybody who supports the channel, of course. So many of you, and we really appreciate it. Of course, keeps us in a position where we can travel overseas and bring you some action from airports around the world. I don't know what the rest of them do with their money, but at least we spend it on you guys as much as we can. Right, so should we do that then, folks? Let's do that. Are you ready? Are you ready for a move? We're going to bust a move. Going to head over to the Hilton Garden Inn, folks, which is unfortunately out of shop here. But you know what it's like. If you're interested in it, then go and have a look at, and then you'll get these aircraft coming hammering towards us, climbing past us, and then banking, and we get some epic shots from there as well. So join us a little bit later. Don't know how long I'm going to be. It's going to take me at least half an hour to break this lot down. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of 1:30. Sorry. 2:30. No, what? It's 2 o'clock now. No, it's 1 o'clock now. An hour and a half. 1 o'clock. Yeah. 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Sorry. See, I told you he was waiting. This geezer here was waiting for that gate too. So we're going to head over to Hilton Garden Inn, folks. We'll see you in a little bit, around about 2:30. And we look forward to seeing you there. Obviously, bear in mind I've got traffic to deal with, and I've also got at least 30 minutes to break down the platform. We'll see you in a little bit. Take care. Cheerio. Bye. Okay. You running titles, GP? I don't know. Or are we just going straight? Okay.